Hello, stepchildren. I'm Mark, and that is Dan, and we have a very special guest today, Mr. Gary Bridges.
Very excited. I've been looking forward to this for so long. Been looking forward to catching up with you guys. Been listening to
Indeed.
you guys for a little bit, man. Like, oh, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
We are,
We're honored to
and,
have you here, Gary.
and just to give you stepchildren a little idea, we are working through friends from our past, slowly but surely, and it's going to get more and more nostalgic as we go. Gary and Daniel, I would love for you to introduce Gary here because I think you guys have a little bit more rapport than we do. Daniel, take it away.
Uh, yeah, look, before we introduce today's guest, Gary, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Over 65% of the step kids watching our video are not subscribed, and if you keep
You're
it
all
up,
grounded.
Mm,
you're gonna be. We'll take all
get him,
your
Daddy.
anime away. None of it. You won't have
Your
any of your
anime.
anime left. Yeah. And I know where you're keeping your anime. We will take it all away from you. No ice cream on the weekends or anything. Subscribe to the channel, please. It is free and it goes a long way in helping our channel out. So really, thank you guys for stopping by to check this episode out. So real quick with Gary Bridges, this is a super special episode. When Mark and I had our first band, our first show we played at Diver Down over in Bossier City, Louisiana, and that was a
I was
solo
hoping you were going to
experience.
bring that up.
That was a
Diver
solo
down.
experience. We didn't have anybody opening for us. Nobody played after us. We just kind of showed up, played, had a lot of fun.
Well, there was
Um,
supposed to be a headlining band, and they dropped out, so it was
uh,
just us.
at our second show ever, we finally heard, hey, you guys are going to be opening up for a band. And we thought, okay, we're going to show them who's boss here. That was kind of how I was thinking about it. And, local bands are notorious for sounding amateur and way underdeveloped. And I really thought we had something special. So my expectations were low for whoever we were opening up for. And, we opened up for them. Thank God this band actively participated in watching our show and they seemed to really like it. And then
Full
they
hair
took this
swirls.
full hair swirls. They had everything going, ton of support. Now, when these guys took the stage, I would liken it to witnessing Godzilla arise from the ocean. I would I
Wow.
would liken it to witnessing the sky open up with a portal to another world. It completely blew my mind. I didn't realize a local band could sound that good. I realized that this band applied a lot of patience in the music that I'd really hoped that our band would apply. So I'm honored that Gary from River Blindness is here with
Ah,
us today.
ah, oh. Daniel from Out of Body. Thank you so much. Dude, I thought the same thing of you guys, man. Like, even back then, you guys were kind of like introducing me to bands and everything that I'd never heard before. Daniel, you introduced me to Coheed and Cambria back then after a show. That was great.
Oh,
You were the first time I'd heard someone, yeah. You should
I'll
check out
challenge
Coheed and
that.
Cambria. I was like, who, what? And you said, yes, trust me. They're one of
That's
my favorite bands to
weird.
this day. Yeah,
Crazy. That's weird. I don't even
Uh,
remember that, Gary, but
I
that
do.
episode is coming, by the way. It's coming. I remember that show at Lil Joe's Tavern in Shreveport, Louisiana. Um, and we played our set. We thought we fucking killed it. And then you guys got on, and Daniel and I looked at each other from across the way. We were all just like,
yeah.
it was so good.
Wow.
It was so good.
That's crazy
And
to
we were
hear,
just
man.
like,
Yeah.
oh, and we were in love from the get go. And then I don't know how many shows did we play together?
Oh,
I mean,
quite
between
several. I mean,
Shreveport, Manny, the Zawali Tamale Festival,
Hard Rock,
Hard
Hard
Rock
Rock.
Rock. Yes,
Cafe.
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I
I heard y'all
forgot
mention that.
about that.
Yeah, y'all mentioned that on the first or second episode of this show. Y'all mentioned that. Y'all talked about
Yeah.
y'all played for the judges. That was weird. That was very weird.
It was very
That
odd.
Crazy night.
was, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
was very cool, but yes, it was very weird.
Cool to be
So
up there, and yeah. But,
Yeah.
we have played all throughout Louisiana, Texas,
Arkansas and
and
Texas. Yeah,
Arkansas. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, for the
wild.
better part of probably a year, maybe year and a half, we were buddy bands. Like if we were playing a show, we were going to support them, and vice
yes,
versa. So,
you guys were our
um,
brothers in metal, as we like to say back in the day. You
yes,
Absolutely.
know,
sir.
had many safety meetings together. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Real
Before you
risk
got
out
on, I
there.
mentioned Zawali Fire for a reason.
Oh yes, Wally Fire.
So I grew up with family land down where Gary lives. He lives in the central Louisiana area around Toledo Bend Lake. There's Manny, Florine, Zawali, all in that area. And
Mm.
I never thought in my life, when I was in high school and middle school, going down there to visit my family's land, I never thought in my life that I'd be going down there to play metal shows. It was so fulfilling. It was so good.
For a little bit, there was a nice little scene around then back then, man. But
There
nowadays, I
was.
don't know, not so much. Not really sure what happened, but yeah, there was a nice little local metal scene back then in the early 2000s that we were all kind of a part of. It was great.
Gary, real quick, do you have any socials that you want to plug or any music projects you're doing, anything you want to promote and talk about?
I mean, not really, man. Just follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Gary Bridges, just by my name. I just do guitar play-alongs, and every once in a while I'll do like kind of a big cover. Like right now I'm working on a Power Rangers cover. I did a Ninja Turtles cover with my friends. Those are really fun to make. Just check those out. Those are like the ones I'm proud of. That's all really all I do. You know, I just like to have fun, play guitar.
So
That's
to
all I do.
add on top of that, for those of you that are listening, I want you guys all to understand and know I have been putting together my top 20 favorite guitar players of all time. And that does not necessarily mean like the most talented in the world, okay? But what
Your
that
favorite
means
guitar players.
is the guitar players that are my favorite that I enjoy listening to. Gary, you fall in that top 20, bud. So do you, Daniel. I
Oh,
mean,
Wow.
thanks. Gary's on my list as well. It would
Yeah.
be it'd be an understatement to really let you know how much of an inspiration River Blindness and your playing were to me as a guitar player. So yeah.
Wow.
do you think we could? Surely you have some old River Blindness that you
Yeah.
can
Yeah, I
put up
do.
in
I have some
here.
MP3s laying around.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I
Man,
do. I have to dig them out somewhere. They're probably on like a little memory stick somewhere. So, yeah, I do.
dude, I would love a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, I actually kind of played along with them like a few years ago. I was like, I dug them out. I was, oh, I should play these. I posted them on Facebook. It's just a couple of them, just a few of the big ones. But yeah.
So I have a burning question: Blake or Chris Benefield?
Oh, Chris,
ooh,
Chris Benefield.
Really?
I mean,
wow.
Chris Benefield, yes. So you talking about as far as vocal talent?
Yep.
Chris Benefield, yeah.
So I remember the first time I saw you guys, I was like, this Blake guy. And Blake, if you're listening, just know that I mean this with love. But the first time I ever heard it, I was like, oh boy. And then
Yeah,
I kind of like adapted to it. And then when
we all
Chris
kind of did. We all kind of did.
then when Chris came on, I was like, well, I don't know if I like this as much.
Mm,
I'm having a hard time adjusting. And then I really liked that as well. And I think Chris did have a lot more talent, but I liked how raw Blake was. I
was
really
certainly
did.
raw. He was certainly raw. He was kind of like that was the first time he was doing those kind of screams like that.
Yeah.
Before that he was just almost all clean singing in any band he was ever in. And the screams he was doing, I mean, he pushed himself a little too hard sometimes, and you could tell
Yeah.
sometimes. But he gave it his all, man. I fucking love that dude to this day. Like,
He killed
and
it. Do you
Chris,
keep in touch with him?
no, not really. I really don't the only one I keep in touch with is Brad Hennigan.
Yeah.
Really?
He's the only one that I keep regular time. I
King
look up the guy.
dude.
King dude, yes. Me and him hang out regularly. We jam regularly. He's my best bud. He's my best friend. He's my ride or
He's
die.
a good
So
dude.
yeah,
Heck yeah.
and
Heck yeah. Make sure, Brad, if you're watching this, we'd love to have you on sometime as well.
he
Um,
better. I'm gonna tell him to watch it. He better watch
Absolutely.
you're left-handed, Brad. We'll give you a
it.
pass. It's not your
We will
fault.
give you a pass
It's
on that.
not your fault.
It is
Yeah, I
awkward as
filled him
hell.
in on your left-handed racism. I filled him in, and he was not
And I
happy.
want to tell you, Brad has the best hair whip of anybody that I
He
know.
Oh God,
does.
yes, he still
Oh
does.
my
He still has all
God.
his.
Woo!
It's all curly and puffy and fluffed
Oh my
out, and I
gosh.
love it. And now he's talking
Man.
about cutting it off. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Don't, please. But
No.
you know,
Gary, I got two questions for you super quick. How did you even get started with guitar? How did guitar find its way into your life?
Goo Goo Dolls.
The Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, it was weird. I had a weird start with music, bro. Growing up, I was just always, it was nothing but country and Christian music almost. Like I was not really allowed to listen to metal or rock really. My mother was not having that. But Goo Goo Dolls, she loved Goo Goo Dolls, of course. And I said, Mom, if you buy me a guitar, I'll learn how to play Name by Goo Goo Dolls for you.
Which is a weird tuning.
I didn't know that at the time. I just said, well, he's playing on a guitar. I want a guitar. I'll learn how to play it. Look, it sounds simple. Yeah. So she bought me a guitar, and that was it.
How old were
And
you then?
14, 15,
And did
probably
you
14,
just commit
15.
to like, okay, I'm going to learn this by ear. I'm not going to get lessons. Like, how did you go about it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I learned everything by ear. Fuck lessons. I don't need lessons. I was, I was playing power chords by like hitting two notes close together like this instead of the regular. Like I was just doing
Sure,
this. I didn't know how to tune a guitar. I was just making noise. I spent a year doing that before I actually learned how to tune the thing. It's a weird way to learn. And yeah, I learned everything by ear and tabs. Can't read music to this day. As far as we getting into metal, like yeah, Rob Zombie was actually the first metal whatever music
sure,
CD
yeah,
that I bought for myself. I didn't grow up listening to Van Halen like you guys or like all the great stuff, all the Alice in Chains and all this stuff. I got into that way later. I was a teenager before I discovered all that stuff, and then wanted to learn all that stuff. So
wild.
it was kind of a weird journey with guitar for me.
Would you say Goo Goo Dolls is your guilty pleasure?
Yes. Oh God, yeah, I still love Goo Goo
Dude,
Dolls.
I love the Goo Goo Dolls.
I was
Not
actually
gonna
thinking about
lie.
covering one of their songs the other day. I still might do it. They go awfully
Can
hard, way harder than you
can you
think.
can you metalize a Goo Goo Dolls song?
Yeah, there's a couple of them you
Let's
could totally.
let's
Especially,
go.
a lot of people don't know half of their albums are sang and written by their bass player, Robbie Cat, and
Huh.
he has a totally different voice. He is way more pop punk, and
Hmm.
his songs don't make it on the radio. Only Johnny's songs make it on the radio. But there's this whole other half of the Goo Goo Dolls that's like based in like kind of like a pop punk sound, and
I
they
did
never
not know
gave that
that.
up. Yeah, it's great. I love Goo Goo Dolls, man. They have a lot more than people think. They have a lot more to offer than people think.
So if you like the Goo Goo Dolls, did you like Jars of Clay as well?
Jars of Clay. No, not was not big into the Christian rock scene. I know
Okay.
my wife was then girlfriend. She was way into Jars. PC Talk, Jars of Clay, all that.
Tell Alicia
But
we
no,
said hi, by the way. Please, please,
I will
please.
definitely. She is in there with the
Yes.
kids. I think they're watching a movie while we do this. So yeah, I will definitely tell her
Hi,
I said
Alicia.
hi.
Thank you for giving us your husband for an hour.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's giving me a little time to myself for now. But yeah.
So on Gary's channel, he's constantly putting out these covers, and I've never personally, as a guitar player, had the patience to sit
Mm.
there and figure out a cover. Whereas Gary just cranks these things out, and he does them so well. And I'm just like,
Thank you.
oh, I wish I could do that. And I probably could if I put my mind to it, but I
Yeah,
don't
you could.
wanna. Like, I've always been an original guy.
Yeah, oh, that I respect that. I don't write originals enough. I kick myself in the ass all the time for not writing more originals. But
Yeah.
learning covers is fun, man. Like just figuring stuff out, interpreting the song in your own way along the way is fun. Like
Yeah.
I love doing that. And it kind of keeps you on your toes. You're always learning new things, learning new little techniques and stuff here and there. It makes you better. It's
Yeah.
fun.
I got another quick question for you. Two of the most inspirational guitar players that you've come across in your lifetime.
I got okay. Guitar player, Michael Ackerfeld, a little bit.
Yes, I'm not surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah,
Michael
you
is
know I
a
love him.
killer player.
Oh my God.
Fill me in, guys.
Opeth from Opeth.
Oh,
Michael
yes.
is
The Opeth,
Sorry.
Mr. Opeth, Johnny Opeth, that guy.
yeah, Johnny
Mr.
Opeth.
Opeth.
Mr. Opeth. Yeah, him.
No, yeah, he's amazing, man. Like
Johnny Hope.
his lead style, like I'm not a lead player, but his leads have always just been so tasty and clean. Nothing overly
You say you're
complicated,
not a
nothing
lead player,
fancy.
but some of my best memories of you are playing lead.
I've only played a couple of them, man. Like I'm really not. I get
Some of
nervous
my
as hell when I
best
get on them tiny
memories.
strings, man. Like I'm more of a rhythm guy. I own it to that. That's fine. But
I mean, you
but
were
his
better than Nick at leads, in my opinion.
oh, shots
Better
fired.
watch it. Watch it.
Sorry, Nick, if you're watching, I apologize, but
It's just never been I've never been drawn to playing leads. I've just never been that guy. I'm not going up there going, yeah.
Yeah,
That's not who I am. I
same.
want to get up there and fucking riff. That's just who I am.
yeah.
I'm all about the chugs. And yeah. But Mike Lackfeld, as far as guitar playing, songwriting, all that, yes, Mike Lackfeld. As far as a favorite band, I would say my favorite band of all time is actually Ween.
Ween?
Ween, yes.
I cannot say I've ever listened to Ween, but I have
Oh,
heard them ridiculed in conversations.
I
I've
love
had
every
some
single album. I love every
I've had
single
some
album.
differences in listening to Ween. I thought
Yeah,
you would have
they,
said Black Label Society, honestly,
hell no,
just based
no.
on what River Blindness was.
Yeah, oh, that sound, that southern metal kind of thing, that's just kind of what we gravitated towards. We were all kind of into that. But personally, it's just not my favorite. I got kind of tired of it after a while, like Black Label, COC, Down, all that. That's fine. I'm kind of more drawn to weirder stuff now. And
All right.
Ween is the epitome of weird. Every song that Ween puts out, it sounds like a different band. Not just each album, each song within that album sounds like a different band. So there's got to be something that Ween has done that you will connect with. Like they're just so
Huh.
versatile.
I
Yes,
think
I
my
mean,
only disconnect to Ween was it sounds like Weenus.
yeah.
This part, right?
The music it also sounds like Weenus sometimes too. But they're amazing. Ween is great, dude. I will highly recommend you check out Ween's discography, especially the later stuff before they stopped. They had matured to a
Okay.
point where they weren't so weird. They were also very musical.
Man, we
So
might have to do a Ween episode and have you back on, Gary.
I
A
would love it.
Ween episode.
I would love it, dude. I'll walk you through their whole discography and give you the story, give you the skinny.
Okay. All right.
Well, Gary, if you don't have anything else, I wanted to dive into a few quick news topics before we get into this a pale white dot review. Um,
Let's get it.
an upcoming new release that Mark's probably looking forward to. I certainly want to hear where this goes, but President comes out with a new song on May 21st. Yes, May
I had
21st.
no idea.
If I'm wrong, June 21st, but they've announced, I believe, a song called Doom Loop. So they've got something coming out here soon. Aside from that,
I'm pumped.
classic rock band Foo Fighters has come out with a Tiny Desk concert. Have you guys watched that yet?
Not yet, no. I have to
I
check that out.
don't know if I will, to be
I don't.
honest. But
So I have, and they didn't tone it down as much as I wanted them to. Dave Grohl was a little aggressive.
did you
That's
notice how I
that's
called them classic rock band Foo Fighters?
well, they are old.
I mean, at this point, they are technically classic rock, which is kind of a wild thought.
I mean,
But
20 years. 20 years is all it takes to be classic rock.
yeah, yeah.
Deftones are classic rock now.
Limp Bizkit is classic rock.
Limp Bizkit is classic rock.
Yeah,
River Blindness and Out of Body are classic rock.
that's classic rock.
Oh, that
Wow.
hurts.
Other than that, we've got people throwing shit at concert these days. Somebody threw a phone at Ollie from Bring Me the Horizon. Meanwhile, over at the Rolling Loud Festival, fans are throwing trash cans at each other. Did you guys see any of this?
I saw some stuff about that. Here's what I'll say: people that throw stuff at concerts, and I'll look you right in the eyes. You're assholes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Assholes.
No shit. Stop it.
What is wrong with you? Why? Why? What is the fucking point? Now, if it's bad, maybe I could look past it. If it's
I don't
just
care how
that
bad you are.
bad,
I'm not throwing anything at the stage,
I
man.
wouldn't either. I
I've
never
been there.
would.
Don't do that. No.
It's just wrong.
I didn't realize that this was a real issue or a concern for live concerts these days until I'd say maybe a year ago. We went to, we saw Nothing More. We saw Daughtry and Disturbed over at an arena in San Antonio. And if you bought water, just like water in a water bottle, they'd serve it to you without the cap because should you throw it, it's going to lose a lot of its velocity real quick,
Oh yeah,
which was crazy. Like
Oh my God.
any of your bottled drinks came without a cap for that reason.
makes
So
sense.
silly. So silly. Let me
And
see. Aside
I
from
can tell you now, I'm not going to throw a full beer at
no, if you do, you really meant that. You really had something you wanted them to know.
anybody. Yeah,
But yeah, stop throwing shit on stage at performers. There's no point. It accomplishes nothing, and it's super disrespectful. A topic that we've been meaning to get around to on this show is the topic of Mafra. You know, I've enjoyed a few. I've enjoyed a whole album of Bring Me the Horizon. I've tried to share it with Mark, and some of the songs just plain upset him. He didn't really like it. But I guess just because Bring Me the Horizon is somewhat in my algorithm, I saw a cover from a girl that had 9 to 15,000 views on it. I turn around, and when I look back at her channel, this video has tens of millions of views. She's
Wow.
all over reaction channels. She's all over the internet. And just a few short weeks later, she occupies a billboard spot. Now, just before all of this happened, within 1 year, she had covered some Bad Omen songs. She had covered some Spirit Box songs. She was just another YouTube cover singer. I don't think she was trying to accomplish everything that she's just accomplished, but isn't that so wild that, when we were all kids, you'd see people that made it, and they tell their story. Oh, I dropped out on life, and I gave my dreams a shot. I moved to LA, and here I am. I made it. You can do it too. I don't know if this girl lives in LA or not, but all she did was cover some songs and publish them on YouTube. Isn't it wild how much notoriety someone can gain from the slightest action these days? You guys talk
And
about this,
Gary,
please.
you can do it too.
Thank you, thank you. You give me new confidence. I will try a lot harder to yeah, keep maybe one day I will blow up and be on Billboard and all this and that, all that at 41.
Yeah. Hey, this girl does not have an album. She doesn't have a piece of original music, at least that I'm aware of. All
Nothing.
she's done is covers. And now Ice Nine Kills have brought her up on stage, and Bring Me the Horizon have now brought her up on stage. Like, this girl's really experiencing a wave of attention from just
That's
covering
awesome.
some songs. Yes,
That's awesome. Yeah.
it really is awesome. I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
I think it's the
Something
Courtney
about it
LaPlante.
is,
I think it's the poppy movement that's kind of fueling this
Yeah.
personally.
sure.
But God damn it, she is talented. She is really good. But I think the true test of time, the true testament of what she's capable of, is give us something original, and let's see
Yeah.
if you've got the chops.
Oh, I mean, brother,
So,
at this point, real quick,
Mafra, do it.
look, I was gonna say, at this point, she's gonna have musicians begging for her as their singer. She's going to have tons of options now. But yeah, Mark, you're absolutely right. Poppy, Courtney LaPlante from Spirit Box, what's her name from Ginger, The Warning. The Warning is doing really well these days. Like, I feel like there's a constant desire for women in rock, and there's always a ton
Yeah.
of support for them once they're there.
Yes, my wife, like, I mean, that's a good way to get my wife to listen to a metal band if there's a female singer. I
Yeah.
don't know what it's, she gravitated towards a female singer. If there's a female
Hmm.
singer screaming and singing, she wants to hear it. I, I guess she feels represented and she loves that. I don't know. I like to see women in rock too, man. It's great, you know.
In case Alicia, if you've not listened to him, please listen to Sorted Pink. I think you'd enjoy. Let me know what you think.
Sorted Pink.
Uh, Sorted Pink is
That's a
a kind of an
deep dig.
that's a.
Oh,
Are you familiar with David Maximikic at all, Gary?
I've seen one of his videos on
Okay,
YouTube one time. Yeah, it sounded great. Yeah, I like this stuff. Yeah,
he has
that's what I
a
heard.
separate band with a female singer, Sorted Pink. I'd be anxious to hear what you think about it. But
Okay, I'll check that out.
let me see.
It's
Aside
Sorted
from
Pink.
fine.
that,
It's fine. It's a
It's
big
fine.
old Haley Williams ripoff.
Oh, Haley's good.
that's a
I
stretch.
love Haley. That is
Yeah.
not a stretch. Dude, there is one song that is a full on ripoff.
Okay, prove it.
We will
Just
talk about that. Yep.
yeah, send your
I'll send you
screenshots
time
later.
signatures, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to happen.
I got
Um,
I'm
receipts.
upset about it.
Another very big topic in the really just the world of music, not even really metal, but Blue Dot Fever. You boys aware of it? Heard about it?
Yeah, I'm seeing that here in my hometown. So we have a outdoor music venue called McGrath Amphitheater, and I've seen Aaron Lewis there. I've seen Incubus there, and we've had acts like Willie Nelson, Kansas, a lot of the boomer bands coming through there as well. Even we've had A Day to Remember. There's been so many bands that have come through here from 2022 to 2024. And then in 2025, it started slowing down. Now for 2026, it's almost non existent of bands that are playing at this venue, which is a bummer. And I can feel it because whenever Sam, my girlfriend, bought us tickets to go to Incubus, I think they were $150, $180 a piece. They were not cheap, but it was a good show. We had a great time. Was it worth the money? Close to it, but not quite. But I can see where people are not wanting to go and spend the money to go to these shows because it's expensive.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gary? I know down there in your neck of the woods, y'all aren't getting that kind of stuff. I think you got to drive to Dallas or New Orleans,
Yeah,
maybe
drive.
Shreveport to see a
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't really get out much anyway to see shows, even though Alicia loves going to concerts. But yeah, man, it's expensive. Gas going up higher. Like people like me that live in the boonies, you got to make the
Yeah.
drive. It's like, well, maybe I'd rather not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
I saw that you looked a little puzzled. Just to give you a bit of context behind this, a lot of artists and bands are canceling their live tours. They're canceling live performances due to low demand of ticket sales. And, if
yes.
your band or your particular performance wasn't selling out arenas before, odds are you've probably canceled a lot of your nationwide tours because of low ticket demand. For a lot of us, concerts are too expensive. Live music really isn't providing enough value these days to justify the travel and expenses it takes to show up. I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
us really want to go to a live concert, but travel's a big barrier for a good, I mean, Gary, you and I are kind of that way. Travel is a huge barrier for you and I to get to a concert. And then
Hmm.
the whole issue of crowds and how packed it's going to be. I think our tolerance for bullshit at live shows has really come down as we've aged. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
so that's what Blue Dot Fever is, a Blue Dot sighting. If you go shop for concert tickets, you'll see blue dots where
Blue
there are
Dots,
available seats,
unsold seats, right? Yeah,
unsold
Yep.
I've
seats.
heard of
Yep.
this.
Yeah.
A lot of bands are canceling, and what was it Pussycat Dolls was one of them that was canceled the tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
I was like, oh God, who remembers Pussycat Dolls?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Meow.
That.
Meow.
Uh, so yeah,
so,
we'll see what happens with Blue Dot Fever. Go ahead, Mark. What you got?
here's one of the things that you got to kind of think about. Bill Murray's selling out venues.
Yeah.
Pink is not selling out venues. Katy Perry not selling out venues. Beyonce not selling out venues. Fuck all those people. Now people want to hear. I think we're kind of reverting back to these smaller scale shows, which is super exciting for me. But even then, a Bill Murray show is really big. Now it is.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're talking probably what 50, no, probably 30,000 people at the max. Probably averaging 10,000 people a show, and that's exciting for Johnny Frank. I think that's
Mhm.
awesome.
sure.
When we were playing shows, when we would play in front of hundreds of people, that was exciting. You know, so I think being realistic with your ticket sales and how you're marketing it to people and the way that you are connecting to the general masses is very important. And now people are tired, in my opinion, of these big pop superstars. They're over it. They're done.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'd go see Pink if somebody paid for my $500 ticket to go see it.
Yeah.
I'd go see that show, but I'm not going to pay for that myself. I'm not going to do it. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, what is the point? Whenever you have complete and total access to these artists on the internet, what is the point?
Well, I feel like it's really just to be entertained. Especially for a live concert. Entertainment is a primary task number uno. But if your music isn't good enough, people aren't going to want to show up to see it live anyway. So I'm not giving a blanket statement and saying that music like Katy Perry or Pussycat Dolls is objectively not good. But what I am saying is they need to change their approach. For example, super quick. I really loved recently, I say recently, probably 2, 3 years ago, T-Pain did a live performance called On Top of the Covers. And these were all cover songs. Great album name, by the way. On
It was
Top of the
so good.
Covers. They were all cover songs, but my point being, all of these songs were done in a small nightclub venue, almost like a small jazz club. Very exclusive. I'm sure it was expensive to get those tickets. However, you got your own table, you get table service, you're getting excellent sound. You're not getting people standing up acting crazy. You're not getting people throwing shit at the performance. Like, people need to scale back and focus on an entertaining performance. That's all that matters. And it doesn't necessarily need to fill up an arena. I think people, if they're serious about their music, they should come up with new ways to present their live performances. And I feel like T Pain's On Top of the Covers was a great example of that.
Let me give you an example. So 2 years ago, Lamb of God was going to be in Chicago. Chicago is a 3.5 hour drive, and I have to get a hotel room. But I was like, man, I'd really like to see Lamb of God. And then I started looking at tickets, and it was $213 at the House of Blues to go see Lamb of God.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a bucket list thing for me. Long story short, I did not bite the bullet. I didn't do it. I chose not to spend that money. Now, Gary, and I think you might like Lamb of God as much as I do, which
Pretty
is
much,
not a lot. I like them enough. I'd go see a show.
yeah, yeah.
But if I had the choice of going and getting a hotel room, driving 3.5 hours to go see Lamb of God, paying for food, gas, and a hotel room, and the tickets themselves, or if Lamb of God live streamed that on YouTube, and I could pay a $10 subscription, I'd be all the fuck over that, and I'd
There you
sit
go.
in my living room and I would smoke some Zawali Fire, and I would
Yes,
have a great fucking time.
yes. Your living room would be the House of Blues. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
why
Oh
not?
man.
That's a great point, Mark. That reminds me of Incubus during COVID. They did a whole morning view performance that was all streamed, and it was a terrific performance.
Oh,
Contortionist
early morning view.
also,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, Gary. Contortionist did a live performance. You get to really control the elements of your audible presentation. You get to control the visual presentation. I feel like we should see way more live streamed performances, whether it's you subscribe to the band directly, whether you pay to get in. That delivers a lot for fans, and that removes all the other barriers of experiencing them live.
I'd pay 10 to 20 bucks on YouTube, and if I had to put in my credit card information every time, I don't give a shit. I'd pay 10 to 20 bucks to watch a live show on YouTube.
How much would you pay for something like that, Gary? What do you think?
Oh man, yeah, easy. $20? Yeah. Because the band I like?
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
Would you pay
Totally.
$50?
No. That might be a little no.
Easy.
I think 20 is my max personally.
20, yeah. For a live stream, yeah.
Okay, what about Opeth though?
I mean, Opeth don't
You
really
can
play.
only see it on YouTube. You'll never see it anywhere else. The only way you can see it is live streaming it on YouTube.
Sure, maybe 50, sure, maybe,
Okay, okay.
maybe.
Okay.
It really depends on the band, like it really depends on the band. Opeth doesn't sound like they used to, like they don't really sound like Blackwater Park anymore, so I'm not really gonna pay $50 to hear them.
Is that your
Yeah.
favorite Opeth album?
Blackwater Park, yes, I would say so.
Man, my favorite is
Yeah.
Damnation.
That's also a great one.
Mm,
Yeah. Damnation and
mm,
Deliverance, both
mm,
outstanding.
mm, mm, mm. Damnation is just wonderful. It's
Some
so
good shit.
outside the box.
hmm
Last big news story that I want to cover real quick. Major credit going to Philip McKnight from YouTube. I think you guys probably know Philip McKnight, bald guitar player, does a lot of
Yeah.
YouTube gear videos. Yeah, Philip McKnight. Also, a small Instagram channel called Tone Nerds. I'll shout them out. Thank you guys for covering this because I forgot about this. But back in March, I don't know if you guys remember, but Fender was applying for copyright protections on the Strat body style. And they
Hmm.
were actually granted that back in March of this year by German courts. Here's the thing. Just earlier this week, Fender ordered cease and desist letters against a lot of small boutique builders in the EU and in the US, demanding halting of production, halting of distribution, destruction of inventory, payments to be made to Fender up to 250,000 euros. Let me,
What does that translate to
Uh,
well,
in
I
big
don't know.
bucks?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to look and see. But boutique builders in the U.S. also received these same sort of legal demands, and they're citing, listen to this, they're citing body shape, pick guard shape, output jack position, body contour, and guitar dimensions. These are the elements that Fender's saying, yo, you have our product. The Fender Stratocaster, when anybody on this planet thinks about a guitar, in their
They
mind,
all
they
look like
see a
Stratocasters.
they see a Fender
exactly.
Stratocaster.
You
Yes.
draw. You tell somebody to draw a guitar. Just draw a guitar. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna
Stratocaster.
draw a Strat.
Gary, you go first.
Dick move, Fender. Stop it.
Why? Well, so why, Gary? Why is that a dick move? They technically have a point. They're trying to protect their property. Why is that a dick move?
It's not nice.
It is. It is not nice. Like, what? people, people need options.
If you look back at what Fender did when they created the Stratocaster, when they created the Jazzmaster, when they created the Mustang, they created some pretty iconic body styles. And then everybody copied them after that. Same thing happened with Les Paul, right?
Sure.
ESP has a Les Paul style body shape. But at the end of the day, like, who fucking cares? There's a look we're all going for. And if you wanted that look to be protected, what they should have done was licensed it to these other guitar manufacturers. They should have said, hey, I recognize there's a need for this body shape. Let me license it to you. We'll get a certain percentage of your sales because we're licensing that body shape to you. I've been watching way too much Shark Tank. But but it's the truth. It really is. Kevin O'Leary would be proud. That's what they should have done. Now, what they're doing is just kind of being a prick at the end of the day. Now, you look over here at this Charvel that I have. Thank God Fender already bought that, and I can have this product that is, in my opinion, better than a Fender. Period. Better than a Fender. But it's a Fender. It's a
It's
far
under their
superior
umbrella,
product.
sure.
It's under that umbrella. And what they should have done a long time ago is allowed that umbrella to encompass a little bit more of the guitar industry. And Gary, I think you would agree with this. I think Schecter, because I know Gary is a big Schecter player.
Love Schecter.
Big Schecter has done a lot of Fender bastardization in a good way. And in some cases, a better way. Schecter is notorious in the guitar industry for having some of the best necks in the industry. Period. Now, the body shape, we love a double horn design. We like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we're into. Daniel likes the Les Paul style. That's cute. But how far do you want to take this? Like, really? What are you doing, Fender? I think Fender has the money to gobble up all these companies. They have the money to do it. So are you going to fight legal battles and put everybody out of business and completely fuck up the guitar industry? Or would you rather license that product and allow them to continue building on the tradition that you created in the first place? Boom. I'm done. Soapbox.
The Fender should
Well
feel
said.
honored that so many people model that body style. I mean, look at the emoji on our iPhones. It's a Strat. Point being, Gary said that's a dick move from Fender. And Gary, I think what you really were getting at there is, yeah, Fender can do this, but in my opinion, it wouldn't accomplish much because sure, Fender might go after these small guitar, boutique builders and maybe scare the bejesus out of them, but it's not going to eliminate the millions of Strat style copies there are in the world. They're already out there. There's
And
nothing they can do about it.
I got news for you. As powerful as Fender is, they can't compete with China.
That's the
They can't
truth.
compete with Temu.
They
Done.
can't.
You can sue everybody all you want. Not gonna work.
Any other closing thoughts on that topic, Gary?
No, it's just kind of I really didn't know that was going on. That kind of took me by surprise. Sorry. I just like, oh,
No,
that's a
it's
bummer.
hey, it's
It's when I hear
I
shit
remember.
like that, when I hear corporations being shitty and being greedy, I get depressed. That's all.
Well, not too long ago, PRS came out with their Strat. They finally released their Stratocaster version. It's had exceptional success, I'd say.
And John
They not
Mayer
only have
endorsed it.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. They not only released an excellent Strat, they picked up the biggest fish in the ocean. So yeah, I mean, and just recently, Gibson tried to go after PRS directly for their single cut models because they're a little too close to the Gibson Les Paul body shape and whatever other circumstances Gibson was really measuring their legal case against PRS on. So
Well, I
yeah,
mentioned this in another episode. PRS continues to innovate. Gibson
yeah.
does not. Gibson's not doing anything for the guitar player. PRS has the guitar player in mind. And I hate PRS guitars. I cannot stand them. Daniel, you owned an SC and you love that guitar if I remember correctly, but I have always had a problem with them. But now I'm so much more open to PRS because they are continuing to innovate for the guitar player.
Without
Gibson does
sacrificing
not do that.
quality.
Absolutely.
Gibson has
Now,
absolutely tried to innovate, but boy, their quality already is in the tank. It goes out the window when they try to do
yeah.
new stuff. Yeah.
And I think it was a big deal when Mark Holcomb and Dusty Waring both went with PRS.
Yeah.
That was a huge move because then it said, hey, PRS is now metal.
Hey, Michael from Opeth also. He's got his own model,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
PRS.
He was the reason I
So
bought the PRS back in the day, but they was out of my price range and still are. So I'm out.
Yeah, yeah.
Gary, I cannot see you ever playing anything other than a Schecter.
Yeah, I've kind of grown accustomed to my Schecters. I have three of them now. I also have a Jackson 8 string, but yeah, my three Schecters are my babies, man. Yeah, I'm Schecter for life. I can't go back
That's
now.
next in the industry, period.
You hear that, Fender? Schecter for life. What's Schecter doing?
And Aaron Marshall's with Schecter now.
Yeah.
Oh,
He,
his new Schecter is beautiful, man. Like
dude, he went from mayonnaise, I don't know how you
mayonnaise. I
pronounce
always
that.
said mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. He went
Yeah, I
from
always said mayonnaise.
he went
I
from
love them
mayonnaise
mayonnaise
to
guitars.
Schecter. It's a
John
huge
Brown, I
deal.
believe, did the same thing. John Brown from Monuments went from mayonnaise to
Aaron
Schecter.
Marshall left sure, whatever how you pronounce it, I don't care, to Schecter.
Well,
Boom,
Know what
and
they're
Nick
doing, man.
Johnson also. Nick Johnson also. He's got a great
dude.
Strat under Schecter.
And it's a Strat through and through.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what's his name? Used to play for Sleeping with Sirens. Jack from Sleeping with Sirens now plays for Jelly Roll. He has a Telly that's a Schecter, and it's fucking beautiful. It's a beautiful signature guitar, and he is full on. He went to Music Man and then went, Music Man, Ernie Ball, and then went to Schecter. So I mean, they're grabbing people for a reason.
Well, look, the last thing I'll say about this Fender stuff, then we'll go ahead and talk about this Periphery album. Fender, I feel like that's kind of small potatoes. I feel you are above what you're doing. I feel where Fender should be focusing is on the player. For example, let's take somebody like Reese Maslin. Reese is playing Fenders up there. Let's work with Reese, guitar players like Reese, who are playing Strats, especially in modern heavy bands. Let's focus on players like Reese. Let's work with them and help develop new innovations for the Strat body style that maybe Fender's not thinking of because they're too much within their own box. They're worried about people copying their guitars when they should be worried about looking at, different ways to attract new customers to Fender.
Yes.
Dude, if I was
Meanwhile,
a small guitar company like Balaclare, for example,
mhm,
I would be all over Reese Maslin right now. And
yeah.
they've already got what's his name from Sayson? Can't remember his name. Somebody help me. Y'all got it.
No, I don't know that one. Sorry.
He's got his own signature with Balaclare, and Balaclare is, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know, but they're so customizable. Every guitar is different. Like they don't have just a core lineup that they sell. And if I was a guitar company like that, I would be grasping onto every guitar player I get and be like, signature. I'd be like, Oprah, you got a signature. You got a signature.
Yeah.
You got a signature. You got a signature.
Yes.
Hey, you YouTube guys, you got a signature too. Balaclare, if you're listening.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Balaclare. Hey, I never knew how to say that either.
Yeah,
But no,
I'm all over
beautiful
it.
guitars, though. Beautiful guitars.
They are. They're
Really are.
beautiful.
Yes.
All right. So now it's
Yeah.
time to go ahead and dive into this new Periphery album, A Pale White Dot. Been really looking forward to this because I've followed Periphery for a long time. And, a big reason we had Gary on this episode is Gary let Mark know that he was a huge Periphery fan. I can't really say I was really surprised by that, but I was a little shocked that you were like, man, when that Periphery episode happens, make sure you let me know. So,
Yes.
Gary, you've joined us today. You want to get started with what you thought about this new Periphery album, A Pale White Dot?
Best album ever.
What? Just like that, huh?
Dude, you
Yeah, just
fit
like that.
right in.
Yeah.
I've listened to you guys. I know the jokes at least.
I love it.
But no, this album kind of blew me away, man. It took a couple listens to get there. The first listen, I'll admit, was kind of a disappointment. I kind of had the feeling like, okay, well, maybe they kind of phoned this in a bit. But the more I listened to it, the more I appreciate it, and the more I
Okay.
realized that like this is them at their most fucking raw, emotional. Every song just goes. Every song runs the gamut. Every song kind of shows you what they can do in 3 to 4 minutes, not 8 to 10 minutes. You know, it's
Thank
tight,
God
it's
we didn't have any
concise.
long songs here.
I mean, I love long songs. Don't get me wrong. but it was nice to have, just banger, banger, heater, banger, banger, all 3 to 4 minutes long, so we can just get going. It's a very tight listen. I was never bored. Each listen it just flew by. Yeah, overall, I love it. I'd probably put it above P5. Jet is not a genre. I would probably put it above that. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think.
This is my favorite Periphery album since I would have to say P3, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, see
And
it?
P3 was not one of my favorite albums, but it was in my top three. And just to give you a quick little journey, my top three Periphery albums: P2, number one; Juggernaut, Alpha and Omega, number two; P3, number three. Honorable mention, Clear. I love Clear so
Clear.
much. It's one of my favorite albums. With Hail Stan and Gent is Not a Genre, I couldn't listen to those albums. I never had them in my rotation. I gave them 2, 3 listens each and couldn't connect, didn't like them. This album will be in my rotation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I only really had one negative thing to say. And I was asking a lot of Spence to give me his full vocal range. And we got soft Spence. We got flaccid Spence. And I did not like that at all. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he really rehearsed it and practiced it before he did it. I think he just walked into the studio and said, I'm going to sing soft, and it just didn't work. And those are the only moments in the album, which there's a lot of, that I had a hard time with. I will go through a quick rating of all the songs. And Daniel, I think this is going to surprise you. Obsession, fucking loved. I gave that a 4.5 out of 5. Heavy, raw, mean. It wasn't even Periphery. It was just brutal. Loved it. Talk, 4.6 out of 5. I love that
Yeah,
song. It
sounds
is
great.
so good. Mr. God, I went down on 3.4. It just sounded a little lackadaisical to me. Heaven on High. It's my favorite song on the album, period. If you take Spencer's stupid soft vocals out of there. I'm sorry, it is what it is, but I still gave it a 4.7 out of 5 because it's such a good song. It is
That
memorable,
chorus is, man,
dude. It
that
just
chorus just
sticks
sends
with
me
you.
places.
You chew that like a good piece of steak, and it just goes down
Hmm.
well. Unlocking, great song as
Oh,
well, but I gave that a 4 out of 5. Subhuman, that's the one with Will Ramos, right?
Yep.
Am I right? Mm-hmm.
doing what he do.
Doing what he
Dude,
do.
Yes,
my
very much
the
doing
only
what he do.
reason the only reason I didn't give that song a 5 out of 5 is because I felt like Spence was trying to keep up with Will Ramos.
Yeah, see
If
that.
I'm just being honest and fair here. Blackwall. I gave that a 4 out of 5. It took me multiple listens to like that song.
I took it
And
out my first listen.
every time I was listening to this album, I felt like, oh my God, am I in the middle of a Stranger Things episode here? Like, and
It's
it,
very
it took
video
me a
game.
minute.
Reminds me of Mass
Yeah.
Effect. Yeah.
But after about 3 or 4 listens, I opened up to it and I was more into it and I understood it a little bit more. Malevolent, 4.3 out of 5. I think that's just a general Periphery song.
That's a periphery
Brutal,
ass periphery
good.
song.
It's
Yeah.
Periphery as it gets.
Yep.
Yes.
Carry On, I struggled with. I gave that a 3.1 out of 5.
That song
Now
gave me
that I'm looking,
whiplash the first time I heard it.
yeah,
Yeah, the way it goes
uh,
from the soft at the beginning, then it goes just straight into that during the verse, kind of gave me whiplash a little bit. It was crazy.
I agree, and a lot of my negative ratings go directly with Spence's vocals. It has nothing to do with the band. The band is on it, just on it on this album. Neon Valley. Now that I'm looking at this, I probably should have rated it about the same as Carry On. I gave it a little bit more because it does have a chug in there that I really love. But I gave that a 3.3 out of 5. Everyone Dies Alone. I love that song. It's a hit in my opinion. Is it the hit on the album? Probably not. Gave it a 4.2 out of 5. And then A Pale White Dot, the last song. All right, let's take a second to talk about that. That is 100% Mark Holcomb.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course.
It is 100% Mark Holcomb. It is not the first time we've gotten a Mark Holcomb acoustic offering, and I'm sorry, but they all sound the same. All of his acoustic offerings sound the same. Sorry, Mark. I love you. Come over, have dinner sometime, but I'm a little pissed off by that.
No, I still enjoy it.
That
It took me right back to the to Candy Rat on early YouTube, listening to
Oh yeah,
Ambient.
yeah.
That's really it brought me right back to that. I loved it.
there was a song on Alpha and Omega, and I can't remember which one, but he did a acoustic thing on there that I
Was
thoroughly
it
enjoyed.
Priestess? Was it Priestess?
Priestess.
Yeah,
Thank you, buddy.
yeah.
Yes. Priestess and A Pale White Dot are so similar to me. I don't know if that's just a me thing or what, but there's not enough differentiation between the two.
Yeah, Priestess is a
And
little more Opeth inspired to me anyway. I don't know. A Pale White Dot just it's not you go in thinking, okay, this is a typical Mark Holcomb spaghetti, but it's really not. It's really kind of more strained. It's a little more simple than that.
Daniel, you have coined the spaghetti.
Well,
Yeah,
no, you know why that sticks so well is because Mark Holcomb's style is very much noodling, just done
yeah.
with an exceptional quality. Like
Sure.
Mark
It is
Holcomb is a
noodling. It's just good
noodler.
noodling. Yeah.
Yes, just good noodling. Yeah.
There's no denying that. Yeah, it is good noodling. I love spaghetti. It's tasty. I'm not
I
gonna
love a
turn down
good noodle
spaghetti.
too.
Yes, yes.
Same.
What's the noodles?
I will always
Ramen.
fuck with some spaghetti.
Well,
No, I love that doodling at the end that he does, man. It's great. It's very relaxing. It's very peaceful. It's
And I
very
do
nice.
think it closes out the album very well. It's just too
yeah,
similar
yeah.
for me. I averaged it out. I gave the album a 4.05 out of 5, just so that we're clear on that.
Okay.
I was very happy with this album. I will listen to it again. Unlike Hailstan and unlike Gent is not a genre, I do not listen to those albums. I will listen to this album over and over again, just as I've done every other Periphery album. My only other little tidbit of information that I have here, my favorite thing about P2 and P3 and Juggernaut, Alpha and Omega, is that those albums came full circle at the end, right?
Yeah.
So they
Okay.
started with something and they ended with a very similar riff and a very similar structure that made you go, it was almost like a rock opera, especially P2. Oh my
P2,
God.
yes, P2 does that
Oh my
very well.
God.
All
So
the
Hmm.
good.
motifs that they play at the beginning, yeah, they all get repeated at the end
Yes.
and throughout the album.
I wanted that out of this, but when I listened to Nick Nocturnal's episode with
With
Bisha,
Misha, yes.
and he described what the album was. And he said this album's about loneliness. That's it. There's no end, there's no beginning, there's no nothing. It's just each song is about loneliness. Had I not heard that, I would have had a hard time with this. But having heard that, I think it really helped me digest this album better. Kind of like the Callous Cowboys. The Callous Cowboys, I made the mistake of not listening to the intro to help me out here, Daniel. What's the name of that album?
I don't want to see you in heaven.
I
Thank
don't
you.
want to see you in
Yes.
heaven. Yes.
Yeah.
If I hadn't, the first time I listened to it, I skipped the intro. And I
Oh
was like,
man.
this
That's a
is
great
stupid.
intro, man. That's a
It
great
is.
intro.
And then
Okay.
one day I just put it on and listened
I
to
love
the
that
intro and I
intro.
was like, now this makes sense. Holy
It kind of
shit.
recontextualizes that entire album.
It
Yes.
does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. So I think you need to have an understanding about how this album works before you dive into it, personally. Gary, what do you think?
Yeah.
That definitely helps. Yeah, so they didn't write the music first like they normally do, right? They had ideas,
Right.
they had lyrics, they had images, and they wrote music around that. From what I understand, I've kind of done that myself a few times. I've taken this, okay, start with the song title or start with this lyric idea. Then what would that song sound like? What would a song called Butt Stuff 69 actually sound like? You know? It's a great way to go about it. It kind of kicks off the creative juices a little bit. It's like just ask yourself that question. Well, what would a song called this sound? I think it
Yeah.
would sound like this. And that's how they did. Yeah, I mean, I
I don't know. I don't want to know what the juices that come with Butt Stuff 69 look like.
Ew.
very yeah, very
That's a
juicy.
short. That's a short.
Well, I'm glad, Gary. I'm glad you talked about that. I feel like that'll be a good point for me to go ahead and tell you guys what I thought about this. Before I get started, anything else either one of you want to say about the album?
No, we want to hear what you have to say. I'm stoked because I've been
Uh,
waiting all fucking week.
this is arguably Periphery's first album. Could even be their second album, and here's why I say that. Misha released close to 100 demos back in the late 2000s under the name Bulb. And I'm telling you guys, I'm sure if you listen to those old demos whenever they came out, I know that both of you know that almost all of the Periphery releases have not escaped the range of ideas that he had in those demos. We have heard ever since Periphery's first album, we have heard all of those demo ideas slowly make their way onto each album. And we've got to hear these fully realized ideas from the very early demos. Now, I say that this is their first album because I really do feel like at first I felt like this was Periphery's first album outside of that reach of those demos because there are no returning motifs. There are no bulb ideas that hit this album at all. This is not only the first time Periphery's done that, but it's also the first time that they've gone about their writing process in an entirely different way. Like Gary mentioned on this interview that Misha's done, he said that they were strapped for ideas and they just went about it in an entirely different way.
Which my understanding was Matt Halpern's idea.
Yeah, I understood the same. So, at first I said, this is Periphery's first album, but then I thought about it. I was like, well, Hail Stan also had no, well, no, maybe Hail Stan maybe had a bulb idea. And that's where I guess this arguably comes from. This could be their first or second album for that reason. I don't think there was a lot of old bulb ideas on Hail Stan. And Hail Stan, to contrast Mark, is one of my favorite Periphery albums. I would put it at number 2 because they caught
Wow,
lightning in a
same, yeah.
they caught lightning in a bottle, and that lightning in a bottle was Juggernauts, both versions.
Oh, so y'all both really big fans of Juggernaut, huh?
I love Juggernaut. And
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, there has never been a time in my life where I've said, you can put out a dual album, a double album, and it's okay. 99.9% of the time, you put out a double album, you should have just done one, okay? But Alpha and
Sure,
Omega
yeah.
was fantastic. Here's a good example. Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy, and the Infinite Sadness.
Mm.
Billy Corgan, if you're listening, fuck you for that album. Fuck you completely, because there is that could have been that could have been an EP. I'm
I've only heard
sorry.
the first half of that album. I don't even remember the second
80% of that album is fucking garbage. It is
Mm.
awful. It is awful. 20% of that is freaking bangers. Awesome. But every time a dual album has come out, I think the public has generally said, no, we're good. Yeah, we could have done with 8 or 9 songs.
Mhm.
Alpha and Omega, I disagree. That knocked it out of the park. The whole thing is actually really good. I enjoy it. So yeah, I don't know if that's my top. I still have to say P2 is my top because I think that's more of a nostalgia thing for me because that's when Daniel introduced them to me. And you notice I didn't mention P1. Anything that involves early
Yeah.
Periphery wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
Daniel's, I think, a little bit more into that than I ever was, but it just didn't do it for me. They were finding their way.
Yeah.
P2, I don't think can ever be replicated, period.
No.
This album, A Pale White Dot, it is finessed enough to make me believe that I can continue listening to it and love it. We're going to find out. I don't know. I've got many more listens under my belt before I make that decision, but I think it's going to get some mileage for sure.
Well, to wrap up my review and thoughts on this, given that this album's kind of central focus is loneliness overall, this is essentially an anthology album. Every one of these songs are a standalone product. One does not connect to the other, nor does this album connect to any other album. So, given that it's got its central theme of loneliness, I feel like a lyrical listen and read along is absolutely necessary. That being said, I did it. Really, I feel it lacks a lot of emotional depth. I couldn't really connect with a lot of the lyrics here. It doesn't, in my opinion, dip too far beyond surface level. But, I like this album. I don't love it. The fact that I haven't loved a Periphery album since Hail Stan is, I think, where that comes from. But I love how this album was born. I love the story behind this album.
Yeah.
I love the story that it represents for the band. Not wanting to record new music and hitting that creative rut. That's not something that really a lot of musicians like to admit to. It happens to all of us, and it's really great to know that the mighty Periphery isn't immune to it either. So to witness them acknowledge that and attack it in a different way is the reason I say this is probably Periphery's best album ever.
Right out.
You and
I
the
also
bit.
miss Nolly. I
I
also
miss
miss
Nolly too.
I miss a bass
Nolly,
player. I miss that bassist. I
man,
just miss this album would have been so
no,
much better with some standout bass lines, man. Like
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I
there's
mean,
really
and,
nothing
and
there.
and I know he's there. I know he's there playing the bass on the album, but you know, here we go back to concerts. Sure, it'd be great to see Nolly performing live again, but are we gonna go? Is Periphery gonna go? Will they cancel their
I
tour?
don't, I
You
don't,
know?
I'd be willing to bet Nolly had nothing to do with this album.
No, he's
Yeah.
absolutely credited on this album. He's here just
Is
as
he?
usual. He is
Really?
always the invisible sixth member of Periphery. Always. Yeah.
I guess I should
Wow.
have checked that out before I said that.
It's
I,
okay.
If you would have said that, I wouldn't even realize that, Daniel. I had no idea he was still on this album.
Yeah, yeah, he's always played bass. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably release a documentary as they do with most of their albums.
A
Odds
pale
are
white
you're
doc.
gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, a pale white doc. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, pale white doc. It needs to be called
Pale
pale white
White
doc.
Doc, that's great.
Yeah.
Gary, I have a question for you. Do you think Periphery needs three guitar players?
I'm kind of with you. The way they're functioning right now, no. Like what they're playing, no. You know, I'm with you on that. I remember you said that in the earlier episode. That, yeah, everything they're playing does not necessitate three guitar players. No. Yeah, they could easily one of them could easily play bass, I guess, huh?
You know, I would love so much to hear Jake Bowen do his own thing. Kind of like I talked about Scotty Lepage from Polyphia. I would love to see Jake Bowen explore his own world.
Well, now, real quick, I do like that distinction. Periphery may not need three guitar players, but they absolutely need every member that's in that band because Jake contributes a lot to the
True.
electronics of Periphery. And I will tell you right now, you may not have saw this coming, but Blackwell was probably one of my favorite songs on this album.
Really?
I really love Blackwell. There's something oddly reminiscent about Blackwell. It actually made me think of Gautier's album. And
And it
forget, I can't
wasn't
remember.
it wasn't the only electronic spot on the album. There were several.
No, no, it wasn't. Yeah.
But I liked Blackwell the most out of all the electronic things. I thought Misha was really into the like Moog.
Oh, Misha and Jake, both of them are. I
Yeah,
mean, they released that. I'm not sure if you ever listened to it, Mark. 2 seconds ago, I believe, is their
yeah, yeah.
electronic band. Yeah, I've listened to that while I've been working. It's a good album because it it doesn't really get your heart rate spiking. It's easy on the stomach. It's a good album. To quickly touch on Subhuman, it was crazy to hear Spence just sound like a fucking goblin. I mean,
Yeah.
he really reached down there and he pulled it out. I mean, and really on a song with Will Ramos, you got to keep up. You can't just kind of do whatever you want to do. There's a lot of times where Spencer is just unpleasant. He always kind of has been. It's never been so unpleasant to where I've wanted to petition for Spencer to get out of this band. But man,
No.
I'd say about 20% of the time overall, Spencer just sounds unpleasant.
I've had some conversations with people, and they always like, I want to like Periphery, but I cannot stand Spencer Sotelo. And I love Spence. I think he's in my top five vocalists for metal of all
Yes.
time, personally. However, he's great at belting. Like, he's great at, like, pushing the vocals out, and he does it so well. And that's why I had such a hard time with him doing this soft stuff on this album, because I don't think he practiced it very much before recording it. And I was just like, God, this is just amateur hour shit. But when he is pushing, when he is just throwing his voice out there, I think he's one of the best there is.
Yeah, let
But
me
when
let me back up
he
also. Although I say Spencer's a little unpleasant at times, Spencer's made a lot of improvements, and
powerful,
I do like hearing a lot of those improvements out of Spencer. Go
yeah.
ahead, Mark.
But with that, I'll also say there are some of the belting and screaming parts where I felt he wasn't in shape for, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I felt that he kind of struggled. And dude, I mean, Spence probably has to be what, 41, 42. He's our age, right?
yeah, yeah.
Sure. And I can tell you, I can't sing the way I used to when I was in my 20s and 30s. So, and I don't know what that looks like for him long term, but there's an end of the road, and I think as a metal vocalist you have a timeline. I don't think you can do it forever. I don't think you can be Fleetwood Mac or the Eagles and the Rolling Stones and continue to tour forever and do the same shit you've always been doing. You're going to have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
And I think we're nearing the end of Spence's vocal life. I'm sorry. Love you, Spence. Would love to have you on the podcast, but I'm sorry. I think you're nearing the end of your vocal life, and that's just reality.
I guess we'll see. Well, gentlemen, that is gonna have to wrap it up for today's episode.
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
The gentleman.
Yeah. Overall, yeah, I'm glad Periphery released this album. It's not going to be my favorite Periphery album. It's fine. It's good. I enjoy it. There's actually a lot of this I didn't expect to enjoy at all. But
I say best album ever.
Yeah, I'd have to give it best album ever. Yeah,
best album ever.
Good enough. Well,
until
Gary,
the next best album ever comes out.
Gary, Mark and I are looking forward to having you back anytime you want.
Oh, bro, thank you so much. Maybe I'll do better next time. I kind of froze up a couple times on this one, but yeah,
oh, dude,
it's the first time I've ever been on a podcast, man. It's like I've never done anything like this before.
That's okay, man. That's okay.
Next time we'll just eat
crazy,
chicken.
But I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for you guys having me on. It's been a blast. Like I said, I said this at the top of the show. I don't know if I repeated it whenever we started recording, but you guys are my de facto music podcast now. Like there's nobody else. When I want new music recommendations, I go to the Stepdad Soundcheck. Every Friday I'm in the meat cooler at work. I'm in there sorting my chicken and marinating, doing my thing, and you guys are just going on, and I'm having a blast, man. Like, you got a good thing going on here, and I want to keep listening.
Well, for those of you that are listening, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all those things. Those are very important to us. Those help us in the future. And we're just only going to be able to provide better content if you do so. And if not, you're grounded.
Yeah. And do the same for Gary Bridges, please. Find him on social media. Give him a
Absolutely.
follow. Gary, odds are he's covered a song you love. Gary does some great covers.
And, Gary takes requests.
I do.
There has not been a time. There has not been a time that I have posted on Facebook and said, Gary, you should do this. And he's done it every time.
I'm like,
so
try me. Challenge me. Go ahead.
Yes. and he does it quickly. You did what? Deftones? How was that?
Oh yeah, Deftones. Yeah. Cut Hands off the last album.
Hands.
Yeah. Cut Hands. I did Milk of Madonna. I did all kind of ones off that album. But
man. And then you
did
a Holy Water song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I caught your Periphery cover, by the way. I was really glad you covered that one because, yes, hands down, the last thing I'll say about this album, best riff on the album, best. There's not really a great chorus on this album, in my opinion, but that riff.
Oh, I disagree about the choruses. There's several I love, but yeah, that riff is the groove on that. That riff, man. Oh my God. Yeah.
I have a good idea. Gary, have you already done a Periphery upload?
Just a piece of a few of them. A piece of Follow Your Ghost off of P4, and a piece of
I'm kind of thinking, Daniel, should we open the podcast with Gary doing a Periphery cover?
I mean, hey, he covered Heaven on High already, but I could grab one of his other covers.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You did do that. That's right.
Gary,
it's not the whole song. It's just the heavy part.
No, but I mean, we only need like 15 seconds, so we'll just put that in.
I'll email your manager, Gary. I'll ask for the rights to include your clip.
Oh yeah, Richard. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he is. He's been easy to work with.
Good old Dick.
All right, this is Stepdad Soundcheck. We are signing off. Gary, thank you again for joining us today. Mark, much love, brother, as always. Catch up with you guys next time. Bye.
Later.